Hi, we are N.A.M.E, New Art and Music Emerged in Manchester. We are a platform online for all Manchester artists, musicians, producers, and anyone that's part of the media industry. We enable you to showcase yourself as an artist, what you're about, and the goals that you aim to achieve, and how you were inspired to do music, and what inspires you moving forward. So today I have RJ with me, who is one of Manchester's rappers. Hi, welcome,
Hello.
welcome. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself, a little bit about what he does. And I will hand this over to you here,
Yeah.
and you can start telling me a little bit about where you've kind of come from, where you started.
Okay.
So how old was you when you started rapping?
About 14, 13, 14. I probably wasn't even rapping then. I was
Yeah.
just kind of like writing lyrics. But
Just a boy.
I was
his
rapping like in my room on my own, but just more putting words together, making them rhyme. I enjoyed doing it. I'd write about anything really, anything that came to my head.
Yeah.
And then as I say, like towards more to like 14, it'd be like I'd be listening to American like hip hop tracks, DMX, 50 Cent. I remember like Fat Joe, Lean Back, that beat. I think that might have been the first beat I recorded over at some guy's house on the
Really?
race course. Yeah, I'd just write over the track and like because I wasn't showing it no one, so
Yeah.
I'd just do it over the track in my room. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
And practice
okay.
it. Or like I remember like just visualizing what beats would sound like in my head. So I know what the beat would sound like,
Yeah.
but you're just doing it a cappella. If someone was listening like at the wall, next door was listening or whatever, just
Just you.
bars, yeah. But and then I can't remember what age I was like when I got onto LimeWire really, but when I got onto LimeWire, which don't get me wrong,
LimeWire.
it wrote
Oh
off my
my
computer in the end. But I got beats. It got you
Yeah,
instrumentals,
yeah.
and you could just download pure instrumentals. Again, mainly like hip hop ones at the time, until I got onto grime really. But it's funny because the guy whose house I recorded that track at, yeah, and it was awful. Like, you know what I mean? It was awful back then.
Something
But
to
he,
look back on
yeah,
now.
yeah. But he on the CD he gave me, which had my track on, so he put my track on it. He might have put the instrumental on it, and then he put a Sidewinder set on it.
All right.
I couldn't tell you what year it was from, but I just know that Ghetto Coyote Rhythm was on it,
Right.
and Kano come in spitting over Ghetto Coyote Rhythm. I ended up finding out what the beat was anyway, and that's kind of when I got into grime.
Right.
And then next thing you know, a few people who I knew was already kind of semi getting on it. So they was like, "Have you heard of the Money guys like Shifty, Slayer, Wrigley, Fiasco, Dino?" I was like, "Nah." And
God,
then they sent,
Dino. Oh my God.
yeah,
Right.
Dino's my guy.
That takes me back to
Yeah.
being so young, and he did a track.
Over wifey with him, Girls versus Music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's girls
bad.
versus music.
Yeah.
Girls that
Yeah,
support music.
yeah. But if both of them were taken away, listen. I mean, he's my boy now. Do you know what I mean? We
Really?
work under the same like label, family, medication. Dino's just released a new track, like either yesterday or the 10th. What are we on? 12th, 2 days ago.
Oh, we did.
Wave, yeah, and it's on the Grime Shutdown playlist on Spotify. It's been put on there.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, he's doing well.
Well, that's good.
When I was listening to them, obviously, I wrote quite quick anyway. Because as I say, I want always writing to beats. So sometimes I'd write quick, and I knew I could rap quick. So switching the tempo to 140 wasn't a problem. But it was just more like making my lyrics more grime and more mank rather than Americanized. You know, like the words and that. Because I was listening to American hip hop, so a lot of the words I was using was what Americans would use.
And that's hard, isn't it? Because then it's like you sort of, you don't want people to perceive you as trying to be something that you're not, in terms of trying to change your accent.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I love about you.
Yeah.
The fact that you have got the proper Manc accent.
Well, when I realised, like, yeah, you can just do it as you talk.
Yeah.
That was better. Do you know?
Yeah.
And then I just started writing pure grind bars really. And these days there, like, people at my school in my area, which is Sale, weren't really on it. But there was a few of us that was.
Yeah.
But people from other areas was on it, and I played basketball. So obviously I mixed with people from quite a lot of different areas, and they was on it.
Yeah.
So
when you focus on yourself and doing what it is that you want to do, like, no one can stop you.
no, and that was my thing. As I say, like I did it for me. I did it on my own, So then when people started to hear that I did it, and they were like, "Will you spit for us?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I'll spit for you," because I loved to do it. Do you know what I mean? I did it because I loved it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Some of the lyrics that you say, they are mank.
Yeah.
The way you're talking,
Yeah, like,
it's mank.
yeah.
It's something that a mank lad would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all the slang in it. Like,
Yeah.
the slangs. It's a little bit different. Like, so like London slang. Some of the words are different, but a lot of it's the same as well. But like, if I'm speaking to my mate, half of what we say is slang.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just the lingo of where you're from, the people you're around. So it only feels right to put that into your lyrics.
Yeah.
Because it's the words that I know. It's the words that I use.
Yeah. Well, it's best just to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you come across in your truest form.
Yeah.
So when it comes to performing,
Yeah.
what have you done performance-wise?
Last year I did Band on the Wall, which was Dino's headline show. Actually, I supported Dino there, which was good. That was a big event. I've performed at a place called Impossible in town.
Yeah.
Done a few there. A singer called Prima, and an artist called Prima. Do you know Prima? Yeah. So she's on our label too.
I've seen her.
So she's had EP launches there and stuff. So I've done that with her, and then with Medication, we put on our own night there as well.
Okay.
So JSD, the label boss as it is,
Right.
he put on all the artists he works with there. So I was on that. I've done a couple of other little ones really. Nothing too major yet. I've performed at Zombie Shack with 16 Wave, which are a rap collective from Money, from like Withenshaw way. But they're like my closest people that aren't in my camp. But like mine and their camps are kind of getting like we're collabing more together now. We're backing each other kind of thing.
That's what it's about sometimes. So about networking.
Yeah, fully. And they're my boys anyway. Like Gilly and Dwayne and that. I've known him years. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how many years, but I've known him a long time. So it was only natural really that when they was doing their thing and then I was doing mine again.
Yeah.
So like if you ask Gilly, he'll tell you that he listened to me 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? When I was first doing it. And then obviously I had a bit of time out, and then they kind of started probably the last year or two that I wasn't doing it, and then I come back. And yeah, so yeah, I was a guest for them at one of their events as well.
When it comes to your favourite artists and what influenced you as an artist, like growing up, who can you say that? I mean, you just mentioned 50 Cent and DMX and stuff.
Yeah, so like the 50 Cent, you know, like the Massacre album. Get Rich or Die Trying was good, but that Massacre album, like that's just a hard album. Eminem, obviously, like anyone who says they've not been influenced by Eminem, like I don't know how you can't be. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, like I'm from the era of Eminem. I'm from the era of that old stuff. It's like before he was signed to Dre.
Yeah.
Like that album, I remember one of my boys, who I made music with, he showed me that album, and like just listening to the way he constructed the bars, and then actually, you know, like when you Google the lyrics, and then you read them, and you're listening to it, and you're reading them, and I used to do that with loads of rappers. I used to Google the lyrics, read them whilst listening to the track, and like it helped me. Do you know what I mean? It helped me construct my lyrics, and even though I did it my own way anyway. All of that research, it has some benefit to what you're doing. You know, it brings you on. Rhyming every syllable, bar for bar for bar for bar for bar. So not just rhyming the last 4 syllables over and over again. Do you know what I mean? Rhyming 14, 20 syllables. Not everyone can do it. I can do it. Do you know what I mean? And it's something that I pride myself on. I'm learning, like through the last year or so, I'm learning that it's not always about that either. It's not always about doing all that, because not everyone wants a science lesson on a track either. You know what I mean? And not everyone's asked about that. They just want a vibe. They want good music. They want something they can just listen to in the car vibe too.
But at the same time, that shows your versatility, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can be an artist that can, you know, do all of the rhyming.
Yeah. And the thing is, you don't have to do it. You can make good music without it. Do you know what I mean? And not everyone wants it. Not everyone who listens to music wants that. But there are some people who do. You know, if I'm listening to a rapper, if I hear someone who can do that, I'm like, yeah, my man's sick. Do you know what I mean? If I'm hearing someone who's bog standard basic bars, but it's catchy and over a good beat, I'll say it's an all right tune. I don't really rate the guy, you know. But that's my preference, and everyone's preference is different. Innit?
Everyone's is different. It's like that whole fear when it comes to putting yourself out there. You got to accept that not everyone is gonna like you. When it comes to you starting off as an artist, I've spoke to a couple of artists now where it's been like, that first step of putting themselves out there
Yeah.
was fearful. I
Yeah,
mean, it
yeah.
might have been a little bit different for you because of you did all of the clashing and stuff
For,
at school.
for me, I was just cocky. Like, I was just a if you ask one of my best mates, Titch, yeah, he says, like, he likes watching me live. And he says, I like watching you live because you got to have a little bit of cockiness, arrogance
Yeah,
about you
yeah.
to perform well.
You got to
And
be
you
able to
do,
work your crowd, haven't you?
Yeah, and I'm a lot more humble these days than I was back then when I was younger. So when I was younger, I was cocky, I was full of myself, but at the same time, I could back the majority of what I'd say up, and I just went about doing what I
Just
was
grown
doing.
up a little
Really,
bit now.
I've learned that that ain't always the best way to be. Yeah, I've learned that be having respect for other people and being a nicer person sometimes. Well, every time is better.
Yeah.
There's still the part of, like, if I didn't think I was sick, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? I know that
Got to have enough
yeah,
belief in
I know that
yourself.
I'm sick, like, and you've got to know that. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And even if other people don't think it, I know I am. Do you know what I mean? And I'll try my best to show you that I am.
Yeah.
And then if you don't think I am, that's you probably not really got the right.
Confidence is
Yeah.
key, though. So when
Yeah,
it
yeah.
comes to other people that you've worked with, have you worked with any females or
Female rappers.
well, yeah, or artists? Just
I've not worked with them in terms of made a track with them, but there's a rapper on my, like, in our medication collective called Persia. She's
Alright.
sick. She's hard. Like, her bars are sick.
is she?
So there's her, Lady Ice. I know you said you spoke to Lady Ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And me and her was spitting in, like, the club scene of this film.
Yeah.
And then one year she asked me, she had a slot at Carnival. She asked me to go spit at Carnival with her. So that was quite a few years ago, though. That was when I was still active in music before I kind of had my little break.
Okay.
But she's tough. Like, Lady Ice is hard. She was cold then. She's cold now.
She's ice.
Yeah, yeah.
Team Icy.
Yeah. And other than that, the main other female artists I've been working with, or that I'm gonna work with, are singers. Really, I'm in talks with a lot of singers and stuff. Yeah, like, I think they're sick. I think the music's sick. There's, and I'm not being biased, but they are part of the medication team that I'm on. But there's a girl called KS. There's Prima. They're both just amazing. So I want to work with them for that reason. But yeah, also because I'm trying to make music. Like, I listen to so much different music.
Yeah.
Like, I just love music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got the bars on lock. I know I have. But not every track is all about that, as I said.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make the best music I can make. My EP that came out like 3 weeks ago, there weren't no features on it, but there's Prima's done plenty of vocal samples in it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So where
loads of
can
her vocal
everyone
samples.
find your stuff?
So it's on all platforms.
Is it?
Yeah. So Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, Amazon, or everything really. I use Spotify. A lot of people use Spotify and Apple Music, don't they?
Yeah.
It's on iTunes as well. If it can be bought off iTunes.
And what do we need to be searching?
Because I'm not massive yet. If you type in RJ on Spotify, I might not be the first one that comes up. But if you type in RJB yourself, that's the name of the EP.
Right.
Then that EP will come up. And then obviously the reason I push my Spotify link more than anything is because once you've been on my profile, if you follow me, you've got all my music there. If you actually find my artist profile by typing in my name and then one of the tracks. So some of the tracks are, there's A.M.E.mcr, Manchester Grime, Growing Pains, Be Yourself, which would come up with the whole EP, which has got 6 tracks on it. And then you'd be able to find everything else from there.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been working to. Like, when that EP came out, I was gassed because, like, I want my music there for people to listen to.
Yeah.
And before that, I had a few singles out. But it's like, if you go on there and you've listened to 2-3 tracks, you've listened to everything that's on there. While there's more of a catalogue of music on there now, so you've got more to listen to. So I'm glad that I've got more music out there now for people to listen to. And since I have put more out, the followers have grown.
Yeah.
And I'm on social media to promote my music.
Yeah.
To show myself as well, because obviously people want to know who you are a bit, and that they want to interact with you a bit. So I try and show a bit of that as well. But I'm on there because I'm trying to pursue my passion. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on there to write silly statuses about my views and opinions on things. Do you know what I mean? Like I got out of all that a good few years ago. Do you know what I mean? That's not for me. I keep out of all that, but what I am there to do is promote myself. So I ain't got time to be. I ain't got time to be on Insta scrolling and like you say, posting what I had for. I've only just got time to eat my breakfast and get on with what I've got to do in the morning. You know, so that helps. Being busy helps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but also it's good to know what's going on with other people.
100%. That's the main reason why we created N.A.M.E. was because of being on Facebook and being on Instagram. You're amongst so many different people of so many different categories. So whether it be of interest to someone or it not be of interest to someone, you don't actually know. We're kind of concentrating on cookies and analytics and all that kind of thing. When really N.A.M.E. is a platform for all these Manchester-based artists to be able to come. The listeners or viewers be able to have that kind of bit of a backstory about you and be like, all right, I've listened to RJ's music, but this is what he's about as a person. You know, this is what he's into. You know, he's a sound guy. You know what I mean?
I love that though. That's like, that's what people need. You know, that's what the scene needs.
Definitely.
You know, and I'm grateful that you got me here. You know, for this interview today. Thank you.
No, I'm really glad that you've been able to come down and just give us some time, because like you have said, you have been busy, and we do recordings through the week mainly, so to catch you on a weekend, I appreciate you taking out your time.
Well, I appreciate you doing it on a weekend for me, because I know that you say you do it in the week and that, but I can't do it in the week.
He's
at the
so
moment.
busy.
It's not happening.